Deep beneath the Frostback Mountains sits Orzammar, the larger of two known remaining dwarven cities in the world. Orzammar was once the seat of a major empire connected by tunnels called Deep Roads, which stretched thousands of miles. The city now stands alone, cut off from the rest of the dwarven ancestral lands by the Darkspawn incursion. Secure in Orzammar's impregnable construction, the dwarven noble houses continue their centuries-old power struggles. Assassination and blackmail are commonplace, but the appearance of honor is paramount. You are the second child of King Endrin of House Aeducan, the 9th Aeducan ruler elected by the Noble Assembly. You grew up in a world rife with political intrigue, and have struggled against brothers and cousins for honor and prestige. Today, a feast celebrates your first military commission, the opening move towards real power in the ever-changing game of dwarven politics.
Greetings, my lord. You are dressed and ready. Excellent. I couldn't find the armor's matching dagger, but I scrounged up a rather fancy longsword. Do you wish to wear your shield to the noble's feast? Why not? The Assembly Lords aren't fond of being confused. Tonight we should stick to traditional garb. Next feast, though, elf ears. That'd be unexpected. One can't take all this marching about and speech-making too seriously. Moving on to the business at hand. The king expects you to make an appearance at the feast, but there's no rush. The noble family heads will spend hours boring your father with petitions and petty grievances. Out and about. I saw them on my way here, browsing the shops. As part of the celebrations, permits have been auctioned off to members of the merchant caste who wish to sell wares in the Diamond Quarter. Lord Harrowmont has also opened up the provings for young warriors to test their mettle before tomorrow's battle. Perhaps we should go show them what single combat is really all about. And by we, I mean you. I'll practice my cheering. You remember last year's open proving? It took your father's smith 6 hours to remove my helmet. I'm not meant for single combat. I fight as my lord's second in shield. That's enough for me. Right behind you, my lord. The day is ours until the feast.
Balin? Oh. I'm sorry. I thought you were Prince Balin coming down the hall. Forgive me.
It seems she's one of your brother Balin's newest, companions. Prince Balin is attending the feast being held in Lord Aeducan's honor.
Yes, of course. It was presumptuous of me to think that he would return to... I am sorry. I will show myself out, with your leave, my lord. Thank you. I will go now.
Please, Master Volney. My work is accredited by the Shaper.
These books are lies written by the enemies of House Volney.
I write only what I find in the ancient records. Lord Aeducan, you can vouch for my work, can't you? Your father loved my History of Aeducan, Paragon King, Peacemaker.
This worm has written a book that slanders my house. It doesn't matter, it's all lies.
My work tells the stories of all those raised paragons in the last 500 years. When the Assembly names a paragon, that man or woman is then, by definition, everything one can aspire to be in the world. They form their own noble houses and are revered as living ancestors. But paragons start off as men.
Volney was more than a man.
Volney became a paragon by the narrowest margin in history. 1 vote. A vote mired in rumors of intimidation, intrigue, and outright bribery. The records of that vote are kept in the Shaperate and are a matter of fact. Not liking history doesn't make it any less true.
You're taking his side? What if he published a book like this about your paragon Duncan? You would not say so if it was your house, but I shall respect your wishes. For now, excuse me, Your Highness.
That fool has no idea how weak his house is or how low he sits in it. Shall I have him killed, my lord?
Well, historically, it has been prudent to eliminate a small threat before it becomes larger.
How do you want it done? Understood.
You've shown yourself more daring and aggressive today than most believed of you. Someday I hope to write of the great exploits you are sure to perform.
Word has been sent. He won't live past the hour.
You've shown House Duncan a friend to research, history, and the glory of our people. Of course, I have much to document and organize. Good day, Your Highness, and thank you.
Our trust follow, big brother. How surprising to run into you out among the common folk.
Especially since duty requires that you attend our King Father at the feast today. Have you so little respect for him to disregard his wishes on a day set aside for you?
Lord Harrowmont told me we wouldn't be needed for hours at least.
Silence! If I want the opinion of my sibling's second, I will ask for it.
Yes, Your Highness.
I speak to lower houses and castes as they should be spoken to. Now do as I say. Your lack of a sense of duty to your house is obvious. I can't imagine why you're receiving a commission. I expect after tomorrow I'll spend much time apologizing to the heads of the noble houses for the deaths of their children under your incompetent command.
That's a bit harsh, isn't it, Qwinn?
As heir to the throne, it is my duty to impart wisdom and judgment upon those who need it. Now then, you, get to the feast. I'd advise you to watch that tongue, dear sibling. Father will not live forever. Come, Balin.
That was fun. Nothing like being talked down to by the next king. We can only hope. Perhaps we should get going.
Duncan, nothing here rivals your amazing Duncan armor, but if you wish something made...
You know very well House Duncan has its own royal armorers.
Of course. Forgive me. Your Highness's legendary prowess is matched only by your kindness. I buy only the finest iron ore, and personally oversee the armor's crafting by the most skillful of the smith caste. Of course, the honor was all mine.
Look at this piece, Doctor.
What have we here? Two handsome, strapping, noble lords. You both look so grand.
And isn't this the man of the hour, the king's son?
Who's your friend, my lord? Another noble from the honored House Duncan? Oh, then not a noble?
No, Telly, not a noble. Stone you're thick sometimes.
They're noble hunters, my lord. A man takes his caste from his father, and these women hope to bear a noble lord's son. If one is successful, she's raised up to concubine in the noble house to care for her child. It provides new sword arms for the house, and many nobles look favorably on such women.
Shall I come to your chambers after the ceremony, then?
I talked to him first. I want him.
He's looking for a woman, Telly, not a little girl. I'm Marty, and I know how to give my lord a night he'll remember.
Oh, my lord has his energy about him.
There will be no three to a bed, if that's what you're thinking. We both require full experiences all to ourselves. If you think you can manage us both, though... This should prove most interesting. We will wait for you together, my lord, and show you the proper way to celebrate a princely commission.
Lord Duncan, here, in my booth? I am so...
He's fainted. You make quite the impression these days. Is it hard to be the king's child, never able to just blend in? It's the price of power, I suppose. Shall we move along?
Greetings, my lord Duncan. I am so honored to have you visit my booth. I have a proposition, but I dared not approach.
Yet you dare now. Very well then, speak.
Yes, just so. Here's the thing. What I mean to say is... Sorry. So nervous. I had a dagger made, for you, as a gift for your first command. I sent a messenger to deliver the dagger to you. Prince Trian had him thrown out. I don't know what offense he caused, but I had him beaten severely. Here it is, Your Highness.
That's an amazing piece, merchant.
You do me much honor, sir. The blade has been crafted over a period of 2 years by masters of every art. I wish to bless the Lord's first command, and hope that someday, when he rules, he will wear it.
Trian is heir. He will rule when King Endrin returns to the stone.
If the Assembly wills it. Forgive me, sir, but whispers say the second child of Endrin will be chosen.
Whispers indeed. It's a princely gift. If Trian recognizes it, though, it may send the wrong message. Or the right one, depending on your view.
Thank you. You bring uncountable honor to me.
What he means is that you'll bring uncountable gold to him if you wear that piece in public.
Lord, are you heading to the proving arena? We have been charged with the task of escorting you to the proving grounds.
I clean forgot about that. Forgive me, I should have informed you sooner. The king decided you were not to travel through the commons unguarded.
Will we be leaving then? We are at your command.
Your Highness, it is an honor to have you here. Have you come to watch these brave warriors do battle in your honor? Your Highness, this proving is in your honor.
Then honor him by doing as he says. My Lord Duncan will fight in this proving.
Of course, it is well within your rights. Men and women of Orzammar, we have a late entry to these provings, held on the eve of battle for the honor of House Duncan. I give you the Lord Duncan himself. Are you ready for your first match? Then let us begin! This is a glory proving, fought under the watchful eyes of the paragons of Orzammar, for the honor of House Duncan. Lord Duncan will fight Alistair, youngest son of Lord Bimo.
You honor me with this match.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight! Is Lord Duncan. That was quite a fight. Alistair is no slouch with that hammer. Are you ready for your next opponent? A doll Helmi, a woman, Your Highness. She's a tenacious fighter. Excellent. Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the watchful eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar, for the honor of House Idukan. Lord Idukan will fight Adal Helmi, eldest daughter of Lady Helmi.
Honor and glory to your house, your highness.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight! The winner is Lord Idukan. That was a crowd pleaser. Many were waiting to see that woman put in her place. Sir Blackstone is your next opponent. Are you ready to face him? One of the best of the warrior caste. He achieved glory in close combat assaults in the deep roads. Then let us begin! This is a glory proving, fought under the watchful eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar, for the honor of House Idukan. Lord Idukan will fight Sir Blackstone, Deep Road squad leader of the warrior caste.
This is your education, child. Try to learn as you bleed.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight! You met your match! Must fight! The winner is Lord Idukan. Well done. You have proven that even the best of the warrior caste cannot match a noble Idukan. Frandland Ivo is your final opponent. He too has had many victories today. Are you ready to face him, or will you rest first? He is a decorated fighter who prefers unusual weapons and rarely fights with the same techniques twice.
House Ivo is relatively inconsequential, but Frandland may change that. He's expected to take a full command of his own soon.
Very good. This is a glory proving, fought under the watchful eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar, for the honor of House Idukan. It is down to just 2 warriors, with backbones of stone and wheels of iron. They have defeated all others this day. Lord Idukan will fight Frandland Ivo, second son of Lord Ivo.
You fight well. I wish you glory today and glory tomorrow.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. The victor is champion. Fight! Enemies approaching. Watch out! The winner is Lord Idukan. Congratulations. Frandland Ivo is as fierce a competitor as I've ever seen. You've vanquished every warrior of note in today's proving. The ceremonial helm, commissioned by your father for today's winner, is yours. The people will remember your honor and generosity for all time.
My lord. We will take a break when we are done here. For now, we are here to serve. The Lord Idukan may take as much time as he likes.
Lord. Not much that you don't already know. My father's father was a great hero of the Deep Roads excursions and raised the family to the top of the warrior caste. He was even nominated to join the assembly and found a noble house, but the honor was in the nomination. He wasn't afforded a single vote. My father served your father for many years, and now I serve you. Yes, I yearn to face the Darkspawn and prove my worth as your second. May the stone support us, and the ancestors look down with pride. As you will.
My lord. Your wish is our command.
Lord Iduken, you honor me by visiting my humble booth. May I show you my wares? Please, look as you will.
Grey Wardens are here. The raid tomorrow must be more than a standard mission. The Wardens only go where the Darkspawn are the greatest threat.
Many thanks for your willingness to hear me out, my lord. I wish to speak to you of a matter most urgent. There is a vote coming before the Assembly next week, and a word from you could go a long way towards helping our cause. The vote concerns the status of the so-called surface caste. Lost to the stone, air-touched, and so forth. Centuries ago, narrow-minded men declared that any dwarf who left to live on the surface forfeited his caste, and his house if noble. That he was, in essence, no longer a dwarf. I seek only to remedy an injustice, to retie the bonds of anyone who can trace himself to one of the noble houses wherever he may live. Please, agree to speak for this noble cause. Those on the surface are our lifeline. They facilitate trade with the surface. They're honorable and, let's be honest. I don't care a whit for those who have wandered from the stone. My wife, however, is a gem of a different color. She has a cousin, a useless sort, but she's quite fond of him. He joined a speculative venture to the surface, hoping to make his fortune, and went bust. Now he wishes to come home, but he cannot, for he has no house and would be casteless. For my wife's sake, I take up his cause. Will you lend me your voice? When your father presents you to the noble houses, I will ask for your opinion on the matter. You have merely to say that you feel our surface brothers should be returned their noble rights. What could be more simple?
Your mother would melt the stone if she knew what you just did. Lord Dace is playing you false. Go ahead, be his puppet. Your first command will be marked by every major house turning their back on you. If you are to play in the games of the Assembly, make sure you know the motivations of the players. Last spring, a guild from the merchant caste invested heavily in an expedition with a guild from the surface. Lord Dace backed the merchant guild, pouring a great deal of money into the venture. The expedition was a disaster. Clever child. Lord Dace lost a great deal of money and prestige. The Surface Guild has no way to repay the investment, but it does have several leading members who are descended from noble houses. House Helmi, Bimo, Iduken. You begin to see the whole picture. Your house and mine would be forced to pay the Surfacers' kin debts. It would be a great victory for Lord Dace. Just so, my clever friend. Smile and nod, and when he asks his question, tell him that the so-called surface caste are right where they belong. That should take Lord Dace down a peg or two. You're welcome. Remember this when my house needs your assistance.
Greetings, my lord Iduken. It is an honor to meet you at last. Not as such, but your father never misses a chance to boast of your skill and bravery. He says you may be the most skilled warrior in all of House Iduken. Your response speaks of maturity beyond your years. We need more Grey Wardens like you, and quickly. Even as the Darkspawn weaken here in Orzammar, they are stirring on the surface. A blight has begun. Soon the fight must go beyond the deep roads, lest the Darkspawn threaten all the world. You know of our dedication to destroying the Darkspawn, our frontline presence during a blight. What else would you know? Over the centuries, many dwarves have made names for themselves in our order. These days, however, there are fewer dwarves and thus even fewer Dwarven Grey Wardens. A pity, since Dwarven warriors have the most experience fighting Darkspawn. I'm afraid not. Grey Wardens go where they're needed most. Right now, that is on the surface at the ruins of Ostagar, where the Human King gathers his armies to face the Blight. Then it is a good thing that you have other paths before you. Some are not so lucky. I wish you luck in the deep roads tomorrow. Show the Darkspawn the might of your people.
King, please reconsider. Trade contracts alone could bring great prosperity to our houses.
Will we really turn our back on our brothers and a potential fortune in cheap labor because of a political technicality?
Denial of the traditions of our people does not qualify as a political technicality. There is more to life than monetary gains, my lords Bimo and Mino. The Assembly of Kal Sharok will respect the rule of Orzammar, or they will rot and die alone, surrounded by enemies.
Yes, my king.
But look, we have company to spare us further wrangling. Atrast Vala, my son. How fine you look in your great-grandfather's armor. I hear you were declared champion of the Provings. I suppose you were never one to sit by when something exciting was going on. Are you ready to be presented to the heads of the noble houses? So dutiful. Very well, let us begin. Lords, ladies, grant me a moment of your time. We are here today so I may present to you my second eldest child, blessed by the stone and born of the blood that ran in the veins of the Paragon Aidukan. Who would pose a question to the prospective commander? Who seeks to know the prospect better?
I have a question. I seek to know the prospect better.
Lord Dace, head of House Dace, speak.
Lords, ladies, my question concerns the plight of our wayward kin, the so-called service caste. What does the Commander Prospect think is the proper place for these lost souls?
Are you satisfied, Lord Dace? Do you feel you have learned something about the prospect?
Yes, my king.
Then if there are no other challenges, I give you Orzammar's next commander. Tomorrow, our newest commander will lead part of a mission to strike a great blow to the Darkspawn. Not only does this recover access to some of our most important mines, but it also allows our honored guest Duncan, head of Ferelden's Grey Wardens, to strike far into the deep roads.
Thank you, King Endrin. While the Darkspawn seem to withdraw, it is only because they are massing on the surface. This could mean a blight, and my men and I will discover the truth.
We are honored to have you with us, my friend. Now, feast, drink, and celebrate, for the morning brings battle! As for you, my new commander, find your brother Trian and send him to me. He may be watching the Provings, or getting some rest in his rooms. Walk well, Commander.
I suppose you're proud of yourself. I was warned you had a clever turn of mind. Next time, perhaps, we shall scheme together. If you'll excuse me, my lord.
Grey Warden. My thoughts exactly. Was there something else? As you will.
So you're a commander now, in name at least. Wait, what's that you're wearing? That dagger? I told that man not to presume to bribe House Idukan. If your favor is bought so cheaply, it is your own shame. You should be attending our father at today's feast, not gossiping with second-rate smiths.
Interesting. I would have been at the feast, but Qwinn had need of me.
The world does not stop and start with your meager achievements. Not even tonight. Now, do you have some purpose in bothering us? You push your luck. Balin, get to bed. We have a big day tomorrow. I will see what our father wishes from his heir.
All day I've put up with that. He can really grate on the nerves. And what I'm going to tell you next won't make you any more fond of him. Unfortunately, I am. Qwinn has begun to move against you. I never thought his much-proclaimed honor would allow him to actually act on his jealousy. Big brother, Qwinn is going to try to kill you. I overheard him giving orders to some of his men, and I was shocked. Then it began to make sense. Qwinn's decided you're a threat to his taking the throne. Maybe he's right. It would be unusual for the Assembly to ignore the King's choice, but it does happen.
The founder of House Bimo became a Paragon and King in one move from the Assembly, and he was a commoner.
That was an extraordinary case, but at least a half-dozen times the Assembly named a lesser family member, or even someone from another house, as king. Usually, it's the popular younger brother of an undesirable prince. Look at it from his perspective. You're more personable than he's ever been. You entered the provings held in your own honor just for glory and to please the crowds. If you win glory against the Darkspawn tomorrow, it will only strengthen the case for you as the next heir. Qwinn fears father will replace him on the spot. If not, the Assembly will surely turn against him when father dies. You know his pride will never allow him to step aside. It seems Qwinn has shown that brothers can't always be trusted. I am next in line. If Qwinn succeeds in his plot against you, how long do you think I'll live?
Permission to speak freely? Qwinn would make a terrible king, but no one wants to say it. He has just enough backing in the Assembly to make it ugly when your father dies, but not enough to become king. Killing him now makes your house stronger and saves a great deal of bloodshed later.
Very well. I'll keep my eyes open. I don't want to lose the brother I actually like. You're welcome. I'm taking your place as father's second, so I'll be at hand tomorrow. For now, try to get some sleep.
Let's go. You don't want to keep those lovely ladies waiting.
Qwinn and his men will clear the way for the Grey Wardens to descend into the easternmost caverns. Those caverns are still infested by the worst of the Darkspawn. We cannot risk our own troops in there.
Understood, Lord Haramont. We should be able to sense the Darkspawn and avoid them once the way is open.
May the Paragons favor you, and the stone catch you if you fall.
Come then! Glory awaits!
Balin, you and your men will second the king, clearing the main road.
Don't you think it looks a little cowardly to allow these humans to take our place where the fighting is thickest?
Are you questioning the battle plan?
Of course not. I'm sure your caution is for the glory of us all.
Enough, Balin. Take your men and make ready. Haramont and I need to have words with your sibling.
Good luck, my brother.
Your father has a special mission for you.
In the eastern deep roads, there is a secret door carved into the stone.
The door leads to a thaig, abandoned long ago by your ancestors. The Darkspawn have made it impossible to reach.
My father believed that the shield of the Paragon Idukan remains in that thaig, under the stones of the central room. We claim the shield, and glory will be yours.
We've sent 2 scouts ahead.
to make sure the tunnels are cleared. But be careful. One of the scouts will meet you at the first crossroads you come to. The second will be further in. When you get to the door, use your signet ring to open it. Questions? The crossroads where you meet the first scout will be the rendezvous point. There you can present the shield to the lords and demonstrate the strength of Duncan.
May the ancestors watch over you, my child.
Looking bright-eyed this morning, my lord. I trust you had a restful night. Feeling a little more, virile? Ready to slay the Darkspawn with sheer masculine power? Oh, believe me, I was doing plenty of imagining. I can't believe you didn't invite me. Anyway, we should keep moving. Genlocks aren't likely to stop and commiserate with my inadequacies.
You made it, Commander. Did you run afoul of any Darkspawn? We didn't expect any activity in these tunnels at all. Once I finished scouting the tunnels, I hid here to avoid the Darkspawn. Most tunnels are dead ends. The one we want is swarming with those fiends. It's going to be a fight. I was, indeed. Your gift of the helm was amazingly generous. I will treasure it always. May today's battles bring us even more glory. I'll take rear guard. Shall we move?
You're here. I thought the Darkspawn had got you for sure. And I'll make sure I'm behind you if we're swarmed. We want the tunnel ahead, but there are Darkspawn tracks all over it. Be careful. I haven't ventured more than 100 yards ahead for fear of alerting other Darkspawn. I'll follow your lead, Commander.
Looks like someone beat us to the door.
This Darkspawn body is still fresh. Whoever opened the door is most likely still in there.
It could have been stolen. Recently, or generations back.
Or it could be an ambitious cousin out for his own glory.
Understood. Let's move, men.
So glad you could finally join us. We feared you'd gotten eaten by Darkspawn. Turns out the shield isn't quite as easy to retrieve as I was led to believe. I wager you know where it is, though. So maybe you tell me where it is, and I won't mutilate your body so bad your father doesn't recognize you. A funny nobleman, just what the world needs. Now kill these idiots.
As you say.
Duncan's signet ring. I guess that's how they got in here. The ring is Trian's. That means he... Or it may be a warning for us to keep our guard up. Agreed. Now perhaps we should find the shield. This is the room. How do we get the shield? You two, see if you can spot anything. Seems some of these tiles are different from the others. Yes. That's it. We've got it.
Doesn't look like much.
The skill of our crafters has come far since then. But still, the shield of Duncan.
If it helps rally the troops, it's a good thing. We need to get to the other rendezvous point. Back in the direction we came from, at the crossroads.
To the crossroads. If Qwinn were really scheming against us, this would be the perfect place for an ambush. We've got the shield, and we're all alone out here. I wish I had your confidence.
What's that you're muttering about? Uh-huh. All right, then.
By the stone, it's Qwinn!
It must have been a Darkspawn attack.
This doesn't look like Darkspawn. No bites, no scratches, no mutilation.
Your brother? Someone's coming.
Hurry, Father, before it's too...
By all the ancestors, what has happened here?
It seems we weren't fast enough. Valand was right.
My son, tell me this isn't what it looks like.
Just long enough to slay Qwinn.
My lord is innocent.
Sir Gorham, your loyalty makes you a useless witness. It falls to others to tell the story. You, Scout, what happened here?
Qwinn and his men were here early. It seems they'd done battle with the Darkspawn. Lord Duncan came up to them all friendly-like, but when we got close, he ordered us to attack.
Stop him! Take his weapons! I think we've seen enough.
No. If the scout were lying, I might have done much the same. I will not drag my son back to Orzammar in chains without hearing from Frandlin Ivo.
Frandlin Ivo, you are a good and noble man. Did the scout speak the truth?
He did, my lord. It was terrible. Prince Qwinn didn't stand a chance. Afterward, my lord stripped his signet ring.
You treacherous bastard!
Silence, Gorham! Do you have anything else to say, my son? I want to believe that. I really do.
Bind him. He will be judged before the Assembly. To Orzammar.
Minutes, sir. Orders and all. You understand?
Of course. Leave us alone, will you, please?
Yes, sir.
I would have come sooner had they allowed it. How are you? I could be better. I have bad news, though. The Assembly isn't going to call for you. Balin has taken Qwnn's place in the Assembly. He introduced a motion to condemn you immediately, and it easily passed. He had fully half the Assembly ready to vote on something completely against tradition and justice. He must have been making deals and alliances for months, if not years. He's more clever than either of us ever thought. Some of the lords, especially Harrowmont, are suspicious of Balin's instant rise to power. They are rallying, but far too slowly. The Assembly has already sentenced both of us. My knighthood will be stripped, my name torn from my family records. But I will be allowed to attempt some sort of life on the surface. Lord Harrowmont moved for a similar exile for you, but Balin's supporters overwhelmed him. You are to be sealed in the deep roads to fight Darkspawn until you are overwhelmed and killed. That may have been Balin's first mistake. Lord Harrowmont gave me access to see you so I could tell you this. Duncan and the Grey Wardens are still in the deep roads, in tunnels connected to those you are to be left in. If you survive long enough to find the Grey Wardens, you may be able to escape with Duncan. There are worse ways for a warrior to live than fighting the Darkspawn with such allies. If you can find them, I'm sure you can join them and escape the deep roads. Balin underestimated you, much as we underestimated him. I begged to go with you and fight at your side, but Balin's pet nobles wouldn't hear of it. I would give up all the safety in the world to go down this dark path with you. Our time is up. May the Paragons guide your sword and the stone hold you up. I will always be your man, my Lord Idukan.
They are ready for you now. Is the prisoner, Lord Harrowmont?
Having been found guilty of fratricide by the Assembly of Orzammar, you are hereby sentenced to exile and death. Your name is from this point forward stripped from the records. You are no longer a person, nor a memory. You are to be cast into the deep roads with only sword and shield. Dare to redeem your life by fighting the enemies of Orzammar until your death. Do you have anything to say before the sentence is carried out? I understand your anger. You should have been allowed to defend yourself. Had I the power to stop this, I would have. Look me in the eye and tell me you didn't do this. For your father's sake. I believe you. That means Balin planned this from the start. Believe me, I will spend the rest of my days making sure Balin does not profit by his deeds. Your father asked me to give these to you. This sword and shield are of fine dwarven make. Strike a blow at our enemies. I will. Open the doors and let the condemned walk through. May the stone accept you when you fall. It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew!
Handlers, separate these dashers in the Diamond Quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
Not speak that way about the man who should be king! I won't have fighting in the Commons, especially in front of outsiders. If I find that sodding fool, I'll have him in the Legion. Vieta, Surfacer. I'm bid to let you walk the Commons, but keep your place. Warden or not, I want order. See, that's why I don't want you Surfacers seeing our worst. You'll think that's all we are. The market is thin, but busy, and the Tavern never closes. Bad blood is usually kept to the proving. Should toss Balin and Harrowmont in there, sort this all out in a hurry. They've caged themselves for fear of each other. As you've seen, keeping order down among us working people is dodgy. No place for a proper lord. Balin speaks through his second, Vartag Gavorn, in the Assembly. Lord Harrowmont speaks through Dulin Ferender, from his estate. Yes, you should.
Did you see that? I cannot believe what this city has come to. This would never have happened when Endrin was alive. Aye. What a terrible burden for a father to have only Balin left of 3 fine sons. In the end, Endrin himself recognized that Balin cared for nothing but power. It was Endrin who ordered his son away from his deathbed and embraced Lord Harrowmont as his heir. Everybody knows he killed his brother Qwinn and let his father's favorite son take the blame. And many question whether Endrin died abed, as we were told, or whether Balin helped him along. He died in bed after his eldest son was murdered, and the Assembly condemned his second son for it. I cannot blame him for preferring to join the ancestors in eternal peace, if Balin didn't murder him himself. I am Narav Helmi, 3rd daughter of the 2nd matron of House Helmi. And you, stranger, what brings you to Orzammar at such a time? A Grey Warden? That explains why they allowed you past the gates. What kind of aid do you mean? A blight? Now? But our warriors are killing each other in the streets. I'm sorry, stranger. I fear there will be no aid for you in Orzammar. If you seek Lord Harrowmont's support, I suggest you talk with his trusted advisor, Dulin Ferender. He might be able to get you an audience.
You look like you're not from around here. Oh, wonderful! I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle? I've been trying to reach someone there for years. I've sent missives with every caravan, but I never get a reply. I want to know if they would accept me for study. That would be wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smithcast. Tell them I've already begun reading the Tevinter Imperium's Verticum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child?
She's so enthusiastic and adorable. I'm glad we're helping her.
Oh, I'll go pack my bags right now. I'll be waiting by my father's shop.
Greetings, and welcome to Garen Garrison's luxury goods shop. Wow, there are a lot of you. And I've never seen one of those before. The things they come up with. What was I saying? Right. Yeah, I have some lovely things here. Lyrium enhanced, of course.
I have heard much about the halls of the Dwarven Kings, but the stories do it no justice. It is so strange, harsh, yet beautiful. And have you seen those tiny pig-like burrowing animals? They are adorable. I wish I could have one as a pet. But they must be hard to catch and... Oh, just ignore me. I'm so silly sometimes. Let's just go.
I knew I should have stuck to common nugs. I've gone and lost them too. I'll never find them the way they skitter.
Common nugs? I don't like those. They look dirty.
No way I'm going back to that supplier in Dust Town. Guess I'm shutting it down. Good on you, stranger. Only need one to turn this around.
So this is Orzammar. It's huge!
Welcome to Janar Family Armorers. I must say, you look like our type of people. Looking for a new set of mail? At Janar's, we have everything from leather to platinum. Aye, for 100 generations. My father made his name by inventing a fall and tacit, which were integrated into the cuirass. But, I'm guessing by your face, you're not a smith yourself. I stay out of politics. It's not good for a smith to get the attention of those who grant vendors licenses. Lord Harrowmont's a fair man. My father did business with him, and he always paid on time. But the Idukans have served us well. If it is the ancestors' wisdom to keep them on the throne, I cannot object. Has she been bothering you? Gets a whiff of surface stink and she's like a cave tick. Won't let go. Oh, good. Well, let me know if she does trouble you any. Of course, keep in mind we also take items on trade.
I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? Although, I can't imagine your ancestors reside in the stone. My name is Vilda, widow of Turok of the Smith Caste. I pray here every day for my son, Ruck. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul. It was 5 years ago. He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them. The captains don't want to lose anyone searching for stray men. Too many were taken by Darkspawn that way. How? There is no way except to brave the deep roads yourself. Warden, so you could do it. Only wardens face the deep roads without a company backing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers. Please, find me as soon as you return.
Bottle of whatever it is.
Topsiders? Good. Get some outside gold in here. Calm people down. Make them think we should open the gates for good. The more cracks in the old way, the better. That's what Balin stands for. Not your business, but I see where the gold is. He's the traditional pick, yet he wants a new way, whether some like it or not. Just as many say Harrowmont. Neither are paragons, and the scales being equal, I go with the promise of more trade. Can't find ore without splitting some stone. My investments are solid, I'll be fine. The Assembly has done us a favor. They've shown just how loose the sand is under our feet. It opens people to change. Orzammar will decide what we can or can't be. Blight may be imminent on the surface, but our warriors are well seasoned against dark spawn. There will be topsiders left for trade. There's no end to you. I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
Maker's blessing on you, brother. I'm Brother Burkle of the Red Cliff Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light.
Even in the very bowels of the earth, we hear no end of this chant.
And that is something to rejoice in, good sister. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar. There is resistance. It's obvious the world wasn't created by the mortal souls who dwelt within it. Yet the dwarves of Orzammar persist in worshipping their own forefathers. You speak as if these people have deliberately chosen to reject the Maker, but most of them haven't even heard his name. How can they choose the path of enlightenment if they never learn that the path exists? The Shaperate controls changes in Orzammar's structure and society. I need the Shaper of Memory's permission to open a prayer meeting. Oh, I'd hoped you'd say that. I can see the Maker's hand on your shoulder, guiding you always. Please let me know as soon as you've heard anything.
Nail once. I thought it was just something they tricked surfacers into drinking, as a joke.
Atrust Vala, stranger. You must be the Grey Warden we heard about. Welcome to Tapsters. I'm Cora, your hostess. How may I serve you? So you come to Tapsters? I guess you're not asking for anything official, or you'd be at the Shaperate. But I can certainly give you a mole's eye view. The nobles stay upstairs, except when they're slumming. You'll find the Assembly there, the Palace, the Shaperate, and plenty of estates. Down from here is just Dust Town or the mines, so my recommendation is avoid. It's not part of the city, just some old tunnels where the castlists build their nest. No one goes there if they can help it. But if you want fun, your best bet is the Proving. It's the bureau of all the Shapers in Orzammar, led by the Shaper of Memories. If you're from the surface, I guess you'd call them scholars. They keep all of our records, laws, genealogies. You got questions about Orzammar's history, and don't mind answers in words as long as your leg, that's the place to go. A Grey Warden is always welcome in Tapster's.
Afternoon, stranger. Looking for a stool to share a brew? Name's Naveen. I fight with Prince Balin's Expeditionary Field Unit. Yourself? Figured as much. Good folks, Wardens. I was in the Deep Roads when that one came by. What was his name? Duncan, something like that. I met him, sure. Good man. Solid. He knows what we go through in the Deep Roads. Not many do. Not even the ones who live this close. You have to be on the front lines. I go where I'm sent, fight when I'm there, and leave politics where it belongs. Darkspawn. Not much use in turning our weapons elsewhere while those vermin still live. Every Grey Warden ends up there. That's where they send you when you're ready to leave this world. Go die in the dark, putting away as many vermin as you can. Getting more crowded these days, though. Lots of people interested all of a sudden. We go back tomorrow, and we're not the only ones. Balin ordered us in at first bell. He's splitting us into 4 teams to search for some of the lost tigers. Looking for signs of Bronca, I guess. Seems to be who everyone's after. Bronca was a paragon, some kind of great smith or whatnot. But she went batty and let her whole house into the Deep Roads more than 2 years ago. No chance she could have survived. And a lot of good men are gonna die looking for her corpse. Excuse me. This brew is starting to taste awful bitter.
Get away! You'll change like the rest. Monsters hidden in all my friends. They follow you. Once you are in the story, they possess your friends and follow. See? I found copies. All from the same pen, and older than the ones in song. Dormant my arse. Take them. I want out. I won't disappear chasing a lie. I won't.
Lord Dennick Helmy, honored Desher of the Orzammar Assembly, and terrible disappointment to my esteemed mother, who doesn't like me spending time in taverns. You understand what I'm saying, right? On the surface, there are no castes, and it works fine. Am I right, Warden? Very good. I guess someone already told you I was good for nothing, drinking my life away at Tapster's. Or did they leave off at greatest shame to ever fall upon the Assembly? I've always liked that one. You know, most smiths and tavern keeps would make decent deshers if we gave them a chance and a seat in the Assembly. Orzammar are so mired in tradition, no one bothers asking if the castes are even necessary. Me and 79 other fine, upstanding examples of how someone who's born into every privilege inevitably wants more. They're not fond of my views on equality. I doubt either candidate has been outside the Diamond Quarter in his life. The Lord Harrimont seems a bit more forgiving. Prince Balin's brilliant, I'll give him that, and subtle as sin. But I don't think anything in Orzammar matters more to him than winning. Badly. Oh, you're serious? Well, it's simple, I guess. The king and elected deshers of the Assembly are at the top. Then it's the nobles. Then the warriors and all the craftsmen. At the bottom are servants. The casteless and criminals are below even that. Your caste is determined by that of your same-sex parent. And that's where you stay your whole life, whatever your skill. As you wish.
Did you need something else, Warden? With 52 types of ale, 17 types of mead, and a dozen imported wines, we should be able to serve your needs. What do you have? Someone's feeling generous. A round of Valentis Red for everyone. This, my friend, is the Paragon of Ales. The best your money can buy. Enjoy.
Go on, I'm out of the nug game. Got nothing to sell. Saraka, I'm back in the game, such as it is. I don't have much besides gratitude, but find a bunch more of these and I'll toss you whatever I found. As they have.
Warden, it is always a blessing for Orzammar to host your order. I am Vartag Gavorn, top advisor to our good Prince Balin. What news do you bring? Yes, the treaty. I've seen it in the Shaper's libraries. Now the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now. My prince is the rightful king, but a disappointing number of lords back the upstart Harrimont for the throne. If you show your support for Prince Balin, he might be able to assist with your requests. That hurts worst of all. That Harrimont would take advantage of the dying king's delirium to plant such poisonous suspicions against his own son. After that, you understand why Balin cannot trust the word of a stranger, however reputable that stranger might be. Harrimont has engaged in a campaign of bribery and coercion to ensure that every house serves him. But if a neutral party, a stranger, were to approach certain key members, perhaps with irrefutable evidence of Harrimont's deception, I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his gratitude. Harrimont promised the same portion of his estate to two different Deshers, Lady Dace and Lord Helmy. Oh, excuse me, two assembly members. Desher is their formal title. Harrimont can't possibly grant it to both of them, but they won't find out until after the vote is cast. I have copies of the promissory notes Harrimont gave each of them. Once they see those, they should both reconsider their votes. Lady Dace doesn't leave the quarter much, but Lord Helmy's adventurous, likes to spend his time at Tapster's in the Commons. Remember, don't tell them you got these papers from me. You learned of them and drew your own conclusions.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the service trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Deshers, lords and ladies of the Assembly, I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace. Enough! The Assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions.